Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is opening the bids for the
Other
northern.
comment?
I'm gonna wait for a little bit.
Okay.
Augie, would you like to open those up for us?
There's 2 copies here. We only received one bid from Special Service Area Number 2, and that'd be from Jeremy Neal. Okay, let's see. Looks like it's, what, 2.5 years? 2 years. First year, year one, 262,500. Second year, 265,000. And there's the partial year, and then the partial year, 80,000. So, will market received? Obviously, I did file stamp the copies, and I think then we would give the other copy to the ambulance committee, whoever chairs that up.
Then you will look through it and make sure everything that was required.
I ran it through Phil, and he said it looked good to him. You mean legally, or
Know that what we received from him, that everything is kosher and everything.
as far as I know?
Well, you need to look at it and make sure.
Oh, you mean now?
Well, we're not accepting the bids now.
Right.
We just opened. It's all
We're
we
just
got.
opening, and then you look at them and make sure that everything was followed like it's supposed to. And then I assume at the next June meeting in 2 weeks or whenever it is, we'll accept the bids.
Yeah, and I'm sure, yeah, there'll be some discussion about it at the next study session
Right.
before that. But yes, that was the original plan,
Right.
June meeting.
Any questions on that from anybody? Okay. Next item is Nancy on Lisa payroll committee.
Nancy, right here. Come on up here. This is not a grilling.
Okay.
This is not like a deposition or something. It's informal.
So I gave everybody a copy of the compliance meeting notes that we took. And during the most recent audit on IPRF, which is our workman's comp company that takes care of the county's workman's comp, they had asked that we start getting subcontractors' certificate of insurances. So we did that. The bill that was handed to the county back in January, I want to say, was $85,000 on top of what we already pay each month, which is another $7,700. So I took it upon myself to see what we could do to bring this down. And they said the certificate of insurances and proving that each contractor had their own workman's comp would take a big chunk out of it, and it did. So it is now down to $8,200 is the extra amount that we would have to pay. Going forward, I would like, the insurance talked about having a preferred list. J.R. Abernathy with Diamond Brothers talked about department heads having their own preferred list of people that we know already have workman's comp in place, and that we have this certificate of insurance in file, and to use those first. And then anybody else that wants to become on that, they would have to comply with whatever insurances that you guys deem appropriate for whatever job is being done. So I'd like a letter from the department, or for the department heads, from the county board to say, this is how we're gonna proceed forward, that we need something in place that shows each company that we use, each subcontractor that we use, needs to have this amount of insurance coverage. It'll make it uniform across the board, and then there won't be any questions from department heads going forward. This will set that in place. That's,
Legally, can we make, this is a question, but I don't know the answer, and Philip isn't here, so maybe
right.
something that we have to ask, but legally, can we as a county have a preferred list of vendors? I thought we had to bid for vendors over a certain amount.
This is the result of the healthcare industry. When someone comes, it's easier to collect off of a workman's comp than it is a personal policy, so they just come in, when someone comes in to the hospital, they say, where did this happen? And if they determine that it happened on a job that this guy didn't have insurance, but the county has insurance, then it'll go against our workman's comp.
Yes, I completely understand
Right.
that, but I'm asking, Jeremy and I are both vendors of the county, and we had to have in our contract that we complied with a certain level of liability coverage, that the county was not named as a successor and et cetera. But we had to bid for that role. You don't have a preferred list of ambulance providers. That's what I'm asking. So when we go looking as a county at landscaping companies, for example, if we have a preferred list of vendors, don't we still have to bid that out?
Yes, and they simply have to provide us with a workman's comp policy. That's the main
Right.
thing. I mean, naturally, there are limits on liability,
So
but we have to have workman's
I
comp.
guess
proof of
my
workman's comp.
question, my ask is, isn't it kind of pointless? I know JR's asking for a preferred list, but isn't it kind of pointless to have a preferred list? Wouldn't it be more prudent to, when we do a bid out for a vendor, to say, you have to meet these requirements, one of which is a certificate of insurance and liability coverage?
Philip is also working on a contract.
Yeah.
It will be a uniform contract that they will hand out to people who want to work. And it is for anybody who works on a county property.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to close up some
Yeah, I
gray
mean,
areas.
I
Mhm.
100% agree that this has to be closed up. I'm just trying to make it not as much work to fall back on you or the department heads, because like, I can have a preferred list of vendors, but if they don't meet the qualifications to do that level of work, it doesn't matter if they're preferred to me or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess the idea of a preferred vendor is if heating goes wrong and we call Seymour,
I think,
then we know that
Then you know
they're on.
they're-
I'm thinking that just most of the people that we deal with have them already have it on file.
You're right.
So every
That's
time
it.
something comes up, we don't have to make sure. Jeremy, you got
So,
it.
Could you name it pre-qualified vendors? instead
yeah,
of
that's
preferred?
probably a better
Yeah.
term,
Yeah.
pre-qualified.
And I would think that Philip's contract should be something that should be looked at every year to say, are they reproving that
Or
they
they're
have
still
the.
complying. I mean, a guy can have insurance today, he says,
Right.
I can come work, but he
Right,
can not have it the
I
next
didn't pay
day.
it next
Right.
month, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Samantha, maybe, excuse me, the dollar amount is $30,000 that that's what we are required to get a bid for. We can put a bid out for under that if we so choose to,
Ah,
okay?
that makes sense. So
And-
if you have something, a water leak at the courthouse and it's gonna be $25,000, you estimate, you don't necessarily get a bid,
Don't have to get a bid.
but you would wanna use a pre-qualified vendor that's already been vetted. Correct?
Yeah.
Certainly
Yeah,
in an emergency
yeah,
situation.
right, right.
You would. Now, if you've got a little bit of time, you can say, hey, give us your proof of insurance,
Yeah.
and you're certainly, you're more than welcome to, work for us, but we gotta have that, because we're getting charged for it if you don't prove that to us.
Understood.
And Augie's under the understanding that no checks would be written until we have that.
So I handed out to you some correspondence right after we were made aware of this. It's an email that I sent out to all the department heads and the board. Just explains basically what Nancy said, that, the IPRF audit resulted in a fine, a penalty, and we need to get it reduced. And the way to do that is make sure everybody has a COI and workers' comp. We need to make sure that the county is named as additional insured. And it does say in there that Jeff has instructed me, because my office does the accounts payable. I've also attached a claim form. I can go over that in just a second. But he said no bills will be paid unless we have an indication of the claim form. So very simply, at the bottom of that last, did I staple that to the, yeah, down at the very bottom, I believe by my name, there's two little boxes, COI or COINA, not applicable. So, for example, when I order envelopes, that's an NA. That they're not required because they don't do any work for us on site, or any kind of office supplies, recurring postage, those types of things don't require that. It's the on-site labor work that's being performed by us that needs to be done, and so we need. Now, this was a idea. We have to have a claim form, but the one that I sent out like this was a suggestion. But as long as when we get ready to enter the claim in a computer, we have to see whether we have a CO. Well, the department heads are responsible for that, whether they have that or it's not applicable before we pay the claim. And whatever form, the claim form for each department looks like, that's up to them, as long as we can see that it's, been addressed. And since we started this, we just haven't had any issues. All the department heads they're on board. The biggest department that this really affects would be the highway. And yeah, we have some vendors that come in at the courthouse, Sycamore, the elevator people, but so the most of the rest of the department heads, they're not going to call an electrician or a plumber. They're going to call Ray or Andy or Jeff, somebody, and say, hey, this broke, we need to get it fixed.
And then we'll be discussing this at the department head meeting on June 8th as well.
So this is then the COI will be held in your office?
Yes, yeah, we're gonna be central filing. The difference is this is somebody who has everything, and this is something that just has general liability. And that's what we're running into, that some have everything we need and some do not. And I know they talked about, JR talked about a ghost policy for someone who is sole proprietor, owner, they're the only worker. They can purchase a ghost policy. It's not very much, I think he said $1,700. And of course, they may pass some or all of that on to us. But at least we will know we're covered and we're not going to,
I guess I need to verify with JR, because I know as an owner, you can exempt the officers of the company from workman's comp. So I'm curious, is that when he said you have to get a ghost policy?
Yes.
Or- You know, I think that's bold.
It is, it's absolute
That's total bull.
garbage.
And then JR said, if you're in Indiana, it's not an issue. It's in
Right.
Illinois.
But she's
Welcome to
exactly
doing business
correct.
in Illinois.
Every time I do it, pass it on to the person who's requiring it.
So
Makes
it
a
just
big
costs
deal.
us more.
Yep.
Anything else?
Was there anything else on that meeting that we need to address?
I don't think so.
The insurance committee, you need to come up with a letter, you know, like she's asking that on the what.
Just defines it
insurance
all
is.
out
Right.
to the department heads that this is what we're going to require. They must have workman's comp or whatever
It
else. that you-
basically amounts to a certificate of insurance like that, and just make sure that the workman's comp part
Right,
is on that.
right,
Because you've got two of them. One of them, there is no workman's
right,
comp.
there's nothing.
Somebody wanted to do roofing for us
Mm-hmm,
and want, but
right. And then somebody else who's fully covered in every way possible. So,
In the W-9.
I mean, we definitely need to have this is the bare minimum, so that when they get this, they say, okay, we're good, or this one, it's like, okay, we need something there.
it's another step in calling someone to work on something.
Yes.
I mean, you just gotta remember, you gotta get it from them, either that or we pay for it.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Okay,
The next item is review solar and wind ordinances. And I know Jeff mentioned that the state has done something, and do you know what that is, Lisa?
Oh, they just added more little T's to cross. And I don't think we can move forward on that without having Phil here, because he's the last one to talk to Andy, and he was the one who's gonna update the ordinances, so. Table that.
Okay, so you don't know what kind of stuff? I mean, is it like making it the restrictions that we have to follow in our ordinance?
It was more terminology than it was anything big. There was nothing big this last time around. It just takes more, it was just more on removing local control. But there really wasn't anything big. It's just more than anything, it was cleaning up the two ordinances to make sure that they matched and the terminology matched. So, postponing it, of course, we need to get it done because, you know, we have Whitetail over at Grandview that'll be knocking on our door very soon. But it is not urgent. It's not a special meeting urgent.
Okay.
And I will tell you, that my neighbor, got a solicitation for contract on the wind ordinance that, or wind folks that are, most of theirs is in Vermillion County up on the line, Vermillion Acre. So that is still moving forward.
On the Illinois side and Vermillion,
Right,
Illinois.
it's mostly Vermillion, Illinois to hook into Vermillion, Indiana.
But some of the proposed site is in Edgar County.
Yeah, they want the south end of the Ridge Farm Bridge. I'm pretty sure they won't be knocking on my door, but they have knocked on the neighbors.
I think I mentioned at the last meeting that we had, the one over here in the Sanford area, the Ranger Power. And talking to that guy this summer, they're going to be talking to Indiana to apply for a permit. And he indicated possibly by fall, they would be coming to us to apply for a permit.
So is that Indiana side, is that Vermillion and Vigo or just
No,
Vigo?
it's just Vigo. You know, it's in the Sanford area.
I don't know what
they-
it is over there.
It's
Exactly.
kind of southeast of Vermillion, south of Vermillion. About 3 miles south of 150. They've got close to 3,000 acres in Indiana. They've got 1,000 plus in Illinois. So it's
This is a new one, not the.
not the one that we dealt with last,
Now, we're gonna have to go through this whole meeting thing for everyone.
yes. Yeah. They've already, over there, they already had the public hearing a couple weeks ago over in Indiana for that one over there, and he indicated that when they get close to doing something here, they would have a public meeting, well, they're required to, 60 days prior to them coming to apply for a permit. But I haven't, and I don't think you have either, Lisa, heard anything on the one out here on 150 about them coming to apply for a building permit. I was thinking they indicated that sometime in May, they would be coming back with us, but that was last fall, and I haven't heard anything since. So,
Yeah.
I haven't talked to any, the Maggarts to see, I know they've been doing surveying out there. About a month ago, they did surveying out there, but I don't know what the status is currently for the APA Power Company.
And Whitetail, I've been communicating with them quite a bit. They've been, they were challenged with finding, a public space to hold their informational meeting. Remember, we went to the one that was hotter than the blazes at the high school? Well, they're gonna do it there. So, that's what they ended up with, because there wasn't a place that was within the, the township to do it that was the right size. So, they, he was asking me some details on sending out the notifications, so if those haven't already gone out, they will shortly.
Did they indicate how big a megawatt?
I don't remember, it was 900 acres.
900?
Yeah.
Because I think Maggart's, that was roughly 1,500, and it was 200 megawatt. But I think the one over there, Indiana, Illinois, has got 500 megawatt on his, pretty good size. If they proceed with it. Any questions on that? Andy, do you have anything on committee reports?
Not today.
Okay, Mr. Britton?
No.
Russ? I don't have anything. Lisa?
Yep. There is a meeting at the library in the basement on Saturday, May 30th at 10 a.m. I didn't know if that was gonna work into your schedule.
Gotta be in Indianapolis, catch a flight at 11:30.
Okay. Well, if you can make sure if you have any updates on banners and stuff. It's about decorating and getting some energy for our 250th celebration.
The buntings for the courthouse are all in. We talked yesterday about getting up maybe this week or the first part of next to get them installed. And then the flagpole banners, Augie purchased them. I talked with the rep and connected in with Augie. Those were a 6-week lead time for printing, but I told him that we had some urgency, and so he was gonna try to put them ahead of a couple of orders, because I said, could we please get them at least by the 2nd week of June, so that we could give the city plenty of time to get them up before the 4th of July.
Okay.
And he thought that that was doable. So I've talked with Chris Redmond, got him some extra parts that he needed for some flagpoles that were broke. And he said as soon as I get them, to get them to him, and he will get his guys on getting them installed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
They
getting all
will
those
not be
details
on
done.
every pole, because every pole is going to be way outside of anybody's budget. So they're gonna be on every other pole
Okay.
across, so we'll have half.
Awesome. That is very appreciated. So, I've been communicating with Kelly Toon and then also with Cliff Mackey, who right now is involved as a citizen, because he doesn't start his new roles with the city and chamber until June. But, so Kelly put it out there on Facebook that, hey, anybody that's interested in making things happen, come to the meeting. So we'll just see what happens, but something has to happen. We have to do something. And Kelly has lots of contacts, and I'm sure that she'll get the right groups and organizations together that, I don't know if we'll have a party, but we'll at least have some decorations.
Somebody was asking about a time capsule buried at the courthouse yard, and I think there is one, but I don't know exactly where it's at. Have you heard anything about that? It was
by
put
the
in.
fountain.
Pardon?
It's by the fountain.
Yeah, 1976 it was buried, and they're talking about digging it up because it'd be the 250th anniversary. The lady asked me about it last year, so I'll check on it, but I forget who I asked, but they said it was by the fountain, so,
I remember when they did it.
okay.
Vaguely. Okay, I will make a note to be sure and discuss that. I don't know, is there anybody that says that we can't open that up early and then bury it again? Because I'm sure that it wasn't intended to be opened up until, for a century,
Right,
Yeah,
but, I mean, it's not,
it's not that long ago.
Donnie said it was a 50-year thing. They were
50
supposed to
years,
open it
yeah.
at 250th.
okay,
He had asked me about it, and I sent Augie a
okay.
message about it so I wouldn't forget, and I asked Dan about it again this morning.
mhm.
So,
All right,
but Donnie said it was scheduled to be open this year, but they did
Right.
it when Harry was,
That's
I'm
why-
sorry, I'm talking too
No,
loud.
quite all right.
And so Donnie said that his dad had something to do with that when it was put in.
Yeah, and
He
he was on the county
remembered it.
board at that time.
Yeah, and that on the 250th is when it was supposed to be open, that's why he wanted me to ask about it. But nobody knew where it was except for Russell.
Mhm.
I know it's by the fountain, but I know exactly
There's a-
where it's at.
Stone.
Is there a stone?
all righty. Well, that'll be a thing. So we do have, prior to our next study session, we do have department head meeting. So if anyone has anything that you want added to that agenda, if you would please let me know or let Augie and I know. 3 o'clock. That way we had that at 3 o'clock, highway at 4:30, and then this at 5. There was something else I wanted to tell you all. I don't, oh, I got in, Facebook, the Keeper of All Truth, but sometimes it does tell you lots of interesting things. There was an article, that this is, an article that small businesses instead of government will have to pay employees for jury duty. And it has passed out of the Senate. And it was 100% Democrat vote on it.
I thought they'd do that anyway, they would jury duty.
What do they, say that again? Do-
That it would be required that it would be the employer and not the county. Because right now, the county pays
I didn't realize that.
a minimal amount, but almost every employer pays as well.
So
So
if you have jury duty, the employer pays too?
usually, because if you work for a bigger employer, you check that you're doing jury duty and they go ahead and pay. So it's this, I don't know, I wish Andrew was here. Do you know what it is? Like $15 a day or something?
Yeah, it's not much.
It's,
but
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
much.
No.
It's kind of just the recognition that it puts it on the employer. So if you're a small business, you're gonna pay. So I thought that was worth mentioning because that's up on the radar.
Since businesses in Illinois are doing so great.
Yeah, And I there's another one that I'll find out later. So, I don't know, I just try to keep an eye open on things like this that are coming down the pipeline, and then, I haven't had a chance to read the last bulletin from UCCI on legislative issues. So, I'll try to do that before the next study session. And that's all I had.
Okay. All good? Have anything?
Don't have anything in addition.
Okay. Taylor, do you have anything?
No.
Adam?
Do we have a reschedule for our joint dispatch meetings? They got canceled, didn't they?
Not at this time.
There was original conversation about them happening at the study sessions instead, but I see that's not the case.
Well, we'll have public comment, so if there's anything you want to discuss today, feel free.
Just wanna make sure we get that ball rolling.
Carl, I'm sorry. So Jeff said that he didn't realize that there was a core building meeting. Core's doing the jail. It's a standing, every 2 weeks, 11 o'clock, right here. And he just thought, by the time we cover what's already on the agenda, now Philip's not here, so that does open up some more time, but still, he wanted to make sure that there was sufficient time so that everybody could talk and could be part of the discussion, and today just wasn't gonna fit in there for the time schedule. But he said we will address it at a later date, so that's why it's not gonna happen this morning.
So is there a way we can set a meeting time and a date today and make sure it gets in the paper, and make sure it gets on the website so that we get it going?
So that, there's no requirement to do that from the board standpoint. If you just wanna have a public meeting, you know, that's one thing. The issue of the last meeting was that it was so close after the board meeting, we couldn't get it published in the paper in time, just because you gotta put it in on a Friday, and it doesn't get published until the following Friday, which in this case would be this coming Friday. So that, and there was an issue with getting it posted on our website. So,
This meeting wasn't in the paper either.
with
It
that,
was because it was a special meeting.
and that's the only thank
It's
you.
different,
Carl.
this is a study session, it's different,
Yeah.
two different things.
Okay.
It was a special meeting, so all the county board members and the 911 board could meet. And so there's, since it's a special meeting, it has, more stuff has to be done. Because study session, it's published,
Yeah.
you know, back in
It wasn't
December.
in the paper this week, though. Today's meeting was not in the paper.
Well, it doesn't have,
So
it's not
explain to me,
required.
if we set it,
I know it's not required, but I mentioned that one time to help the people know about our meetings.
It's on the website.
Yeah, but how many people get on the website?
How many people get the paper?
I do.
Well, I do too, but most people don't.
so if we set a meeting date for next week and we put it in the paper, we contacted the paper today, and then we had Phil put it on the website, why could we not have it next week? Is there a reason why we couldn't?
We just need to make sure who all's gonna be there. Phil's gotta be there, I take it.
We've got to coordinate with several people,
Yeah,
so we
I
can't
think
do
so.
it today. It's not gonna happen, setting the date today. I've had a conversation with the chairman, and it'll be at a later date. I know you're frustrated because it takes so long, but that's just the way things are.
No, I'm just saying, it
No,
helps.
I'm just frustrated because at the last meeting, I tried to set it for June 8th, and I was told that we needed to have that ball rolling a lot quicker.
Yeah,
So
right.
we moved it back to a special meeting, and now, because all the right people that some people think need to be here, then they're not here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm frustrated.
We have a pretty big disparity here. We need to get everybody's opinion on it, the expert's opinion on this, and it probably ought to be done before we move into the public safety center over here.
Which
At
will be
least-
later this summer,
Yeah,
fall.
and at least get something going where there's open discussion about it.
Well, the study session does not have to be published in the paper.
I realize that.
That's a standing meeting that gets published at the beginning of the year. And there's no action taken at study sessions, no official board action. And that confirms, because I had the same conversation with Jeff that you did, Carl, that nothing would be done today, but the next opportunity would be the next study session
On June 8th.
on June 8th.
That's probably when it's gonna happen, but
Which is the evening one.
That's, yeah, that's
Right.
Up at the-
5 o'clock.
So am I
Which is
jumping the
better.
gun on public comment right now, or?
no,
Well,
All right.
help yourself. We're in public comment. Go ahead.
That was it. I just want, all I want's the meeting set.
Okay.
I mean, I just want a date for a meeting where everybody that needs to be involved in this is involved in it, and everybody can hear their, have their voices heard. Because we have several differences of opinion on how we think that joint dispatch should operate, what the reporting structure should be. And if we don't listen to the people who know what's going on firsthand, which are the experts, and listen to what they're saying, and try and choose the best avenue, we're never gonna get there. So if we don't make a meeting date, we're not gonna get there. So, does anybody else wanna chime in on this? Adam? I don't mean to hold your feet to the fire here, but I'm gonna need a little support.
I mean,
What are we
without getting too crazy, I'm super frustrated on how things are going so far. We just keep kicking the can down the road, and people are getting more and more irritated, but
Is that what June 8th is to set another meeting?
I'm thinking that's when we're gonna have the meeting at our study session.
well, Carl, all due respect, thinking and saying we're having it
Well-
are two separate things.
I gotta make sure that everybody that needs to be there can be there. The state's attorney, the county board chairman, those are important people. So,
And in all due respect, the chairman is the one who actually sets the agenda with the input from the other board members.
He said it'd be discussed at the next study session.
yes.
That's what he said on the email,
Will we need to do anything special if, for posting purposes,
But I think it should be a special meeting.
will we have to do anything any differently for posting purposes if members of the 911, the ETSB board attend that meeting? Will there have to?
No, that's them doing that. That wouldn't be for us because our meeting is already established. And
They would have to be notified so that they could post it for, if they get a majority of a quorum, correct?
yeah, ETSB,
Right.
yeah,
So they
that
have
would
to
be
know.
up to them to do that, yeah.
So you're gonna have this before, during, after? In other words, if they're required to post something, are you getting the impression that they're, because they wanna be there, they're, as a board, they're required to post that?
If they're gonna
You
have
asked
If we
for
have
four,
a quorum, if we have,
if they have a
That's what
quorum,
Samantha
So
was
they're gonna
saying.
need to do that.
yes.
So what time is that portion of the meeting? Is that just same time as the study session then?
Yes,
Okay,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. So you get that, Adam?
5 o'clock,
5, if you want,
June
if you,
8th,
yeah.
that's for it.
What are we talking
No,
about
here.
it?
It's here.
Am I gonna make this agenda and it not happen is what I'm asking.
Well, I know if we don't make the agenda, then it can't happen.
Right,
So go ahead and make the agenda, I think, and publish it.
And then if something comes up.
And then if something happens, you can cancel it.
Yeah.
But you can't have it, if you haven't at least planned it, you can always cancel it though.
Right.
So I think that's probably what sounds like you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Phil can be there. 'Cause we can't do anything if Phil isn't there.
Well, in that
Right.
situation, we can cancel it. But he probably should be on board for being there since it is a
Right,
board meeting.
I will double check.
It won't be a board meeting.
Yeah, only
Study
one,
session.
there's just study session.
For study session.
There won't be anything actionable, so.
Correct. Any other public comment? I know you've been to several of our meetings, and I just, what do you have to say?
The board meeting, Phil just said that there was gonna be discussion on the PLAs and the solar ordinance, so I was just kinda here for, if there's any questions on that, so we're talking to postpone, I'll be at the next one, so.
Do we have time for some discussion?
Yes.
Because I have a question.
Okay.
So have any of you, because we're on Dish, we don't get Indiana news, but I watch 10 and 2 on Facebook when they have the bigger things, and there's been so much dissension regarding what's going on with the data center in Sullivan County.
Absolutely.
And the whole, you know, how we've been talking about, and I had been asking, is it appropriate, or when could we insert into the process a requirement of using local labor?
So, today, the thing is, Sullivan County is the thing, that's why I've been coming and why I'm so passionate about the tri-trades on any solar agreement in Edgar County, Clark County, our local jurisdictions, because, what's going on down there is Sullivan County, Greene County, Indiana, they don't have ordinances, they don't have zoning, so it's very appealing for places like that to come and build. They had an agreement with the council that they're gonna use a PLA, they were gonna use local labor. As soon as they gave them the road use agreement, they backed out of all the PLAs. When you drive down there right now, every truck down there is from Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana. They're not using local labor. No matter how you feel about data centers and solar farms, stuff like that, I probably feel the same way. But if they are gonna build it, I think the true prevailing wage should be paid, and I think the labor should be local. It should be people from Edgar County building stuff in Edgar County, not people from Georgia, Texas. I have the Clark County solar ordinance, they just enacted it in their last meeting. The changes are in there for the tri-trades to be in it. I just gave him to Bill or you today,
Yes,
so.
I'd like
So
to
they
see it.
put theirs in the ordinance,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's interesting, because Andy is their attorney as well. And when we had talked to him about it, he had talked about putting that requirement later on in the process in the building portion. Yeah, so.
Clark County wanted it in there, it was a 6-0 vote, they wanted the local labor thing in there, so this is their ordinance, anything in red is an update from the old ordinance, and page 12 is what, and that was what Andy sent to me prior to the meeting of them putting that in there, and that was the
Okay.
language he used, and he said, I think it opens up within the rule of the law or whatever to protect you from any lawsuits, later on. But what that does is, I think Illinois requires prevailing wage for 3 megawatts or under. This requires prevailing wage to be on any commercial solar, and it allows us to provide the manpower instead of an out-of-town contractor. These projects are so big, when you have a Ranger Power come in and you don't hold them to a PLA, then they can bring all their workforce with them from out of state. These provisions allow us to provide the manpower. We manned 4 solar farms last summer, 800 electricians, so manning it is not a problem for us, but I would rather us man it than somebody in Texas.
Can we,
It's yours, and I've got it on email, I can send it to everybody or
well,
whatever.
I guess, I mean, I saw the Channel 2, I think, was talking about it, and they were interviewing people down there, and I thought they said they had an agreement, and then somehow how could they back out when,
They
if
were,
there was something?
from my understanding, they went to the county for their road use agreement.
Right.
The county asked the building trades if they were in discussions with the PLA. They said they were, they went ahead and approved the agreement. As soon as they approved the agreement, they backed out of all discussions on the PLA and then brought in their,
So they didn't have a signed agreement prior to giving them the road use agreement. So
Okay.
So as we know, if it's not in writing, it may
it
not
doesn't
happen.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
and that's what the Clark County now, I mean, if they've already asked for their permits, they're into the old solar ordinance, but anything moving forward with the new permit will be done with local labor under the tri-trades agreement, so.
I know when in one of the conversations I had with Ranger Power, they indicated they were gonna use local labor, but
Every one of them tells you that.
tells you that.
They
but
all
unless
tell you that,
we
they all
have
say they're
something-
gonna use a PLA, they all say they're gonna use local labor. There is routes around, one PLA is an NMA, it is not the true prevailing wage. There's an NMA project in Cumberland County,
Right.
ASCO is doing it. The carpenters are part of the NMA, and the carpenters told them to bring whoever they want. So they're bringing out town workforce to man that job as well.
What's it, PLA?
Project labor agreement.
Okay.
And so do you guys have a standard template for that, the labor agreement itself?
For the National Tri-Trades, the state attorney has it. I gave it to him
Okay.
last meeting.
Good.
And I'm sure Andy's well aware of all that
Yeah, he
stuff.
has it too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's, does a lot of different counties.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Good.
gonna ask.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I've noticed you've been here, but I just wanted to hear something from you.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid
He's just been
to,
waiting.
yeah, just don't be afraid to, you know, if you have any questions, just speak up. Don't, because, you know, we want to hear from you.
Thank you.
Can we get his name, Carl? Sir, I'm sorry, can we get your name?
Jerry Woodfall.
I wrote it down, a month or so ago when you were at the, but I forgot it, I apologize.
And if you could send a copy of this to Augie's email so that he can include it in our packets, that would be helpful,
Okay.
please.
I can send you that and the National Tri-Trades. I'll send you both agreements.
Thank you.
Their ordinance and then the Tri-Trades agreement.
Anybody else have anything?
What's the status on the new jail? We kept pretty quiet.
Well, we're gonna, if you wanna stick around at 11 o'clock, we're gonna have a meeting. They're gonna, they give us a status every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but
Not worried
They-
about
You
it.
just kind of wanted to.
Not worried about
okay.
it. People ask, I just wondered.
Well, I know that,
Supposed to
Late.
open this month, that's the reason why I asked.
well, no, it's not gonna open this
Yeah.
month.
Substantially complete.
Substantially
I saw
completed.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But the architect and 2 or 3 different people are coming later this week to go through it and do a punch list. I don't know exactly what all that involves.
It's just all the little things that they see that they haven't completed at this point.
I mean, it's getting close,
I know, but
Right.
people ask this one.
but you know, once it's complete, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that has to be done. You know,
Oh, I know.
bring in
Yeah.
equipment, furniture, stuff like that. The internet's not gonna be put in till possibly July 1st.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's the target date.
Okay.
And then Ross, after that, Ross has to do a bunch of stuff he can't do till the internet gets in here
I
and
read something
everything.
about that,
So you're looking at later this summer
yeah.
at the earliest for everything.
I know at the last meeting we talked about the letters on the
I was
exterior.
gonna bring that up today.
Yeah, wondering if they could be like powder coated black, if in some way to stand off of that, or else some like uplighting and then the ground uplight.
They
then-
said they wanna paint it, but I did wanna verify that I wouldn't want to powder coat. Cause if you just paint them,
Right.
you're gonna be doing that every 3, 4, 5 years.
Right. But yeah, we've talked about that, I mean, as soon as they put it up, you obviously
see it.
didn't see anything. And they indicated they were going to, but I don't know that we got into details on what,
I was gonna bring that
but
up
we're gonna
today.
talk about that today.
This may be a stupid question, what I ask once in a while. I thought they were gonna have solar panels for electricity. Is that true? There's none out there, I just wondered.
I mean,
We
we
talked
probably
about that.
discussed it,
We discussed on
yeah.
that. I just wondered.
I haven't heard
We
it
haven't.
recently.
One step at a time.
So where's electricity coming from now?
Ameren.
The wires coming in,
Buried in?
yeah.
Okay, I just wondered.
Look out, George.
Stupid question, right?
No?
I don't care.
When they're running power tools, they have to run really fast.
What do you say?
They got a gerbil on a wheel out there. Power. So whenever they run power tools, you gotta run real
I
fast.
did have a hearing.
Any other questions, Mr. Brennan?
I'm done.
Motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.